Welcome back, everybody. Walter here at the workbench once again with the chip breaker conundrum. So, as I mentioned in the video before this, these modern chip breakers give me a conundrum. So I dug out my Clifton 4.5 and I measured it to be at about 22.5 degrees bevel. That's low. I measured the Tay tools and it's at 25. So I did some of the other research, and I'm not going to bore you with a lot of it, but basically, all right, assuming this is a plain blade, this is something else we'll talk about, but the lower your plane, your sharp edge is to the wood, the easier it will cut. The higher it is, the harder it will cut. That's just cutting. We're not talking about chip breaking. All right? So if you have a really, really sharp knife, you go low on a piece of wood, and then you just kick it just a little, you can take nice little shavings off. You're not going to get anywhere, but you can take nice little shavings off. Also, another reason why chef knives have a very, very thin blade at the tip, so it cuts real easy. So there's that. Most bench planes are set with a standard pitch, the pitch being the bed angle of 45 degrees. There is a York pitch of 50, a middle pitch of 55, and something called the cabinet pitch, which is at 60 degrees. Cabinet pitch is typically used for molding planes and for gnarly woods, like Terry Gordon at H&T. Gordon, they use 60 degrees for those crazy Australian hardwoods. So if you take a blade or an iron that is going to be pitched at 45 degrees, and you put a 25-degree chip breaker cap iron on top of that, do the math. 25 and 45 is 70 degrees. All right? So your chip breaking action is happening at 70 degrees. So it's my contention that if you raise that 5 degrees, you'll be at 75 degrees. If you raise it 10 degrees, you'll be at 80 degrees. So in other words, if you're at 30 degrees, you'll be at 75. If you're at 35 degrees, you'll be at 80. If you go to 40 degrees, you'd be at 85. And if you went to 45 degrees, you would be at 90. 90 will not work. Because what 90 is like the shaving coming off of the cutting blade, cutting iron, and just hitting a brick wall. If you move it 5 degrees, it begins to curl. Okay? If If you move it down low, it's going to curl real easy. But if it curls too easy, you're not getting the chip breaking. What chip breaking is you are breaking the back of the shaving. Okay, you are breaking the back and not allowing it to pull fibers up off of the board. That's why they call it chip breaking. So if you didn't have any chip breaker at all, you'd just be coming off of your sharp edge and just sliding right up. But you can get tear out then. Now, there was a video done, and I'll leave a link to it. It's on Vimeo. And from my best understanding of that video, and it's old now, and I think it was research done microscopically on the effects of the chip breaker to the shaving. And it was primarily done for the Japanese planing machines that don't have a rotary cutter. They have a fixed straight edge and a moving table. Watch that video. It's about 17, 18 minutes long. And you'll see what I'm saying, or read what I'm saying, because it's in Japanese, I think. And so they did an English dub over. But that's about it, everybody. I mean, the math is the math. No chip breaker, you have 0. You put a 25 degree on there, you now have 70 degrees where it's moving the chip over. So 25 degree breaker is 70 degrees. 30 degree breaker is 75. 35 degree breaker is 80. And 40 degree breaker is 85. So that's about it, everyone. I'm looking forward to your comments, because this has pestered me for years. And with the old style chip breaker that had the hump, we were all pretty much accustomed to just taking the chip breaker, rolling it over, going to our sharpening stone, and just ever so lightly rounding that front. Okay? And then you take it to your strop and you'd polish that front, and you make sure it didn't have any burr on the bottom. So it always worked. It worked fine. But if you measure that angle, it's steep, albeit a fraction of an inch. 25? Got to add another little bevel at the front. Just another little bevel. Yeah? No? I don't know. Head out to your workshop. Walter out.